Listen to me. I need you locked in right now because this moment, this exact moment, is not normal. This isn't just another day, another talk, another room. This moment is sacred because I'm standing in front of people who have the power to take the rest of their lives and flip the script. I'm standing in front of people who can walk out of here and make dreams reality. Not someday, not next year, right now. And that's why this moment is serious for me. Because I speak in places where people don't have choices. I speak in places where men and women are going to spend the rest of their lives behind bars. And yes, I can give them hope. I can give them inspiration, but I can't give them options. They don't get to walk out of the room and rewrite a future. But you do. You get to walk out of here, make a decision, and change everything around you. You get to walk out of here and operate at a level you've never touched before. See, I'm not here to give you new gifts. I'm not here to hand you new talents. You already have those. You were born with those. What I'm here to do is help you flip the switch. I'm here to help you activate that greatness you've been sitting on. I'm here to help you stop living at 70% when 120% has always been in you. And once that switch flips, once you tap into that next level, your life starts producing results you should have been seeing years ago, not because you weren't capable, but because you weren't operating. So before we go any further, I need you to write something down, not something cute, not something kind of important. I'm talking about that thing. The thing that has been haunting you. The thing you keep talking about but never finishing. The thing you cannot go into another year without completing. The thing that keeps you up at night because you know your future is tied to it. Write it down. Because today is the day you stop playing with it. Today is the day you stop saying one day and you start saying this year. And as you're writing it, I want you to feel that moment many of us have had. That moment where the embarrassment hits, where the guilt hits, where the reality hits. I should have been done with this. I should have handled this years ago. Enough is enough. That moment where something shifts inside you and you say, I'm done making excuses. I'm done explaining. I'm done delaying. This is the year. This is the moment. I'm finishing what I started. So write it down. Write it with conviction. Write it like your future depends on it. Because I promise you, it does. Listen to me. You already have the ability. You already have what it takes. The problem isn't talent. It's not intelligence. It's not opportunity. It's activation. You're walking around with gifts that other people would pray for, and you don't even realize you're sitting on a gold mine. You keep telling yourself you need more time, more money, more support, more clarity, but the truth is, you don't need more of anything. You need to flip the switch. You need to stop living like someone who's waiting for permission and start operating like someone who understands they were built for greatness from day one. You're not empty. You're not lacking. You're not behind. You're untapped. And that's the difference. Some of you think you're failing because you don't have enough. No, you're failing because you haven't used what you already have. You're like a phone with 100% battery, but stuck on airplane mode. All that power, all that capability, all that potential, but you're not connected. You're not accessing the network. You're not accessing the version of you that was supposed to show up. And every single day you stay in that mode, you delay the life you were meant to live. I need you to hear me. You don't get more power until you use the power you already possess. You don't get more opportunities until you maximize the opportunities already in front of you. You don't get more doors until you walk through the ones that are already open. Most people are asking for blessings they're not even prepared to carry. You want the next level, but you aren't using the tools for this level. You want elevation, but you're still acting like the ground is comfortable. You keep waiting for motivation. You keep waiting for the perfect moment. You keep waiting for someone to push you. But I need you to understand something. Your gift doesn't activate when conditions are perfect. Your gift activates when you make a decision, when you decide to show up, when you choose discipline over feelings, when you stop waiting for the moment and start becoming the moment. There's a version of you that the world has never seen. Stronger version, a wiser version, a more relentless version. A version that doesn't flinch, doesn't hesitate, doesn't stall. That version is already inside you, but it only comes out when you tell it to. Some of you have been quiet too long. You've silenced your own greatness. You've turned down your own volume. It's time to turn it up. It's time to activate what's been asleep inside you. It's time to stop living like you're average when there is nothing average about you. You don't need another sign. You don't need another speech. You don't need another tool. You need activation. You need to make a decision that today is the day you tap into everything you've been storing up. Today is the day you stop living beneath your potential. Today is the day you finally say, "What's inside me is enough. Now I'm going to use it. Listen to me." There comes a moment in your life when enough is enough becomes the turning point. Not a slogan, not a cute phrase. A breaking point. A moment where something inside you snaps, not in anger, but in clarity. A moment where you realize you can't keep living the same way, thinking the same way, moving the same way, and expecting your life to magically transform. There comes a moment where you look at yourself, you look at your habits, you look at your results, and you say, "Nah, this ain't it. I'm better than this. I deserve more than this. I was built for more than this." And that moment? That's the moment everything changes. That's the moment your life takes a new direction. Because you can't rise until you refuse to stay where you are. Some of you are waiting on motivation, waiting on opportunity, waiting on someone to come rescue you. But nothing changes until you change. Nothing moves until you move. Nothing shifts until you decide you're done repeating the same cycles, the same patterns, the same excuses. You have to reach that point where you get sick of your own story. Sick of hearing yourself say, "I'll do it tomorrow." Sick of starting and stopping. Sick of almost finishing. Sick of being close but never crossing the line. Sick of knowing you're capable of greatness but choosing comfort instead. That moment where you finally realize comfort is costing you your future. That moment where you realize procrastination is killing your potential. That moment where you recognize that the life you want isn't waiting around, it's moving. The question is, are you moving with it? I'm talking about the moment where you get tired of apologizing for not showing up. Tired of explaining why you haven't finished. Tired of pretending everything is fine when deep down, you know you're operating at 50% of who you really are. You ever look at yourself in the mirror and feel that sting? That moment where you know you're capable of more, and it hurts because you know you've been holding yourself back? That pain right there, that discomfort, that's the start of your transformation. That's the moment enough is enough gets real. When a person reaches that point, they become unstoppable. Not because they suddenly gain new skills or new opportunities, no. Because they finally stop negotiating with their weaknesses. They stop letting distractions run their life. They stop letting excuses narrate their story. They stop letting fear dictate their decisions. When a person declares enough is enough, discipline becomes natural. Consistency becomes non-negotiable. Growth becomes inevitable. And hear me, nobody can force this moment on you. Not your parents, not your coach, not your partner, not your circumstances. This moment is yours. It has to come from you. It has to rise out of your spirit. It has to come from that internal, knowing that you are not living the life you were created for, and you refuse to carry that into another season. You reach that moment, and everything changes. Everything. Listen to me. Dreams don't become real just because you want them. They don't become real because you talk about them, pray about them, visualize them, or post them on social media. Dreams become real when you attach a deadline to them. A real deadline, a finish line. A point in time where you tell yourself, by this date, this gets done. No excuses, no delays, no negotiations. Because as long as your dream is floating in the air with no time, no structure, no urgency, it will stay a dream. And some of you have been living with dreams for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, not because you can't achieve them, but because you never put a clock on them. You've been treating your dreams like options instead of assignments, like suggestions instead of responsibilities. But hear me loud. When something has no deadline, it has no priority. And when it has no priority, it gets pushed behind everything else. The job, the stress, The distractions, the comfort, the scrolling, the fear. That's why you never start. That's why you never finish. That's why you keep telling yourself, one day. Listen, one day is a trap. One day is how people waste decades. One day is how gifted people die with their greatness still inside them. You know why deadlines matter? Because deadlines create pressure, and pressure creates focus. And some of you haven't been focused in years because nothing in your life is urgent. Nothing demands your discipline. Nothing forces you to show up when you don't feel like it. You've given yourself too much room, too much flexibility, too many chances to delay. But when you put a date on your dream, you take away the wiggle room. You take away the escape routes. You take away the back doors. You force yourself to complete what you started. Look at every great athlete, every great entrepreneur, every great creator. They weren't great just because they had talent. They were great because they lived by deadlines. They had seasons, they had launch dates, they had release days. They had windows of execution. And because of that structure, their greatness had a place to go. Their talent had a direction. Their effort had a target. Some of you are shooting in the dark. You're working hard, but you're not working toward anything specific. You're dreaming big, but you're not measuring anything. You say you want to lose weight. By when? You say you want to start a business. By when? You say you want to finish the book, the course, the project. By when? Until you can answer that question, you are not serious. And that's not disrespect. That's reality. When you set a deadline, you give your dream a heartbeat. You give your goal a pulse. You give your purpose a schedule. You give your future a timeline. And once that timeline is set, your brain, your body, your habits, your decisions all begin to align. Suddenly procrastination feels wrong. Suddenly excuses sound stupid. Suddenly comfort feels expensive. Because now you're racing against time, and time becomes your coach, your motivator, your accountability that put a deadline on it. Watch what happens. Your dream will stop being a wish and start becoming a plan. And plans get executed. Plans get completed. Plans get results. Listen to me. You've been talking about change for years. You've been thinking about change for years. You've been dreaming about change for years. But nothing changes until you change the way you show up. You keep saying you want a new life, but you keep bringing the same old version of you to the table. The version that hesitates. The version that negotiates. The version that quits when it gets uncomfortable. And the truth is, it's not your goals that need work. It's the version of you that's trying to reach them. There's a version of you that gets average results, and there's a version of you that gets extraordinary results. And the difference between the two is not talent, it's not luck, it's not opportunity, it's intensity, it's commitment, it's daily discipline. It's the level you decide to operate at. Some of you have been living at 60%, 70%, 80% your whole life, and wondering why life isn't giving you 100% back. Life doesn't reward potential. Life rewards the version of you that shows up with consistency, hunger, and intentional action. You can't reach a new level with an old mindset. You can't unlock new doors with the same excuses. You can't wake up every day and think you're going to stumble into greatness. You must choose greatness on purpose. You must wake up and decide, today I'm showing up different. And not just today, every day. That's how transformation happens. Not by doing something once with passion, but by doing it daily with purpose. When you elevate your standard, everything around you shifts. The way you think shifts. The way you move shifts. The way you speak, eat, work, react, it all shifts. Because now you're not operating from emotion. You're operating from identity. You're not doing things because you feel like it. You're doing them because that's who you are now. And once you lock into that identity, the old you becomes unacceptable. Laziness feels foreign. Procrastination feels wrong. Excuses feel embarrassing. Because you've tasted the power of your higher self, and once you taste that, you can't go back. But here's the part most people don't understand. The transformation doesn't start when you see results. It starts the moment you decide you're done living below your potential. The moment you look in the mirror and say, enough is enough. I'm not operating like this anymore. That's the spark. That's the ignition. That moment is where every great comeback is born. There's a version of you, stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more focused, waiting on the other side of your comfort zone. But you will never meet that version as long as you keep protecting the old you. You've been loyal to your limitations. You've been committed to your excuses. You've been consistent with your comfort. Now it's time to be loyal to your growth, committed to your future, and consistent with your greatness. Shift your level. Shift your effort. Shift your habits. Shift your mindset. When you shift you, everything around you will shift with you. Listen to me. You can't keep talking about the life you want like it's going to magically fall into your lap. You can't keep wishing for change while living in the same routine, the same rhythm, the same excuses. There comes a moment, and every successful person has one, when you stop negotiating with your future and you declare, "This is the year, this is the month, this is the deadline. I'm finishing this." Because without a deadline, your dream will drift. Without a timeline, your goals will collect dust. Without a clear finish line, you will keep running in circles, convincing yourself you're making progress when you're really just moving. You need a date because a date creates pressure. A date creates urgency. A date creates accountability. When you write down that deadline, the clock starts ticking. And when that clock starts ticking, something inside you wakes up. Something inside you snaps. Something inside you says, "We're not playing with this anymore." Because now it's real. Now it's measurable. Now it's urgent. You stop waiting for motivation and you start moving with intention. There's a reason the version of you from the past kept delaying. That version of you believed there was time. That version of you lived like tomorrow was guaranteed. That version of you said, "I'll start Monday, next month." When life calms down, but the new you, the focused you, the hungry you, you don't live like that anymore. You know that every day you delay is a day you lose. Every month you postpone is momentum you sacrifice. Every year you push forward is a year you never get back. Putting a date on your goals forces you to grow into the person who can achieve them. It forces discipline. It forces structure. It forces you to prioritize what matters and eliminate what doesn't. A deadline is not pressure. It's permission. Permission to level up. Permission to say no to distractions. Permission to stop entertaining people, habits, and environments that don't align with where you're going. You can't keep living with open-ended dreams. You can't keep floating through life hoping something changes. Set the date. Mark the calendar. Declare it out loud. Because the moment you attach a timeline to your vision becomes a mission, and missions get completed. Missions get executed. Missions demand effort, require sacrifice, and produce results. Some of you have been almost done for years. You've been working on it for years. You've been planning for years. But this is the year you cross the finish line. This is the year you stop leaving your dreams half-built. This is the year you stop telling the same story with no new chapter. This is the year you commit with full force to a deadline you refuse to miss. Put the date on it. Put the month on it. Put the year on it. And when that day comes, I want you to be able to look at your life, look at your progress, look at the person you've become and say, "I did exactly what I said I was going to do."